Titanicus is here, and this is the one thing you kind of have to buy to play the game. So for the first time in recent memory, Games Workshop has put out a full rules kind of package that comes in a starter as a separate purchase, which is, I like I said before, and the other unboxing videos this week with the Titans walking, it's very ambitious, and I like their moxie. I like what they're doing here. But what I like most about it is we all know that the price tag on the starter, the Grandmaster Edition, is hefty. It's $290. You can add one of these to it. Like I said, it gets you up to $350. Split it in half. You and your buddy. This is the My Buddy starter set. Can both get one of each of all the things that comes in there, plus one complete rules package here as well. And it helps out, and it lets you play, the skirmish level games and the Titan Clash and stuff, and you can still have fun and learn the game and decide if you want to keep putting money into it. But maybe more importantly is this is a precedent for GW. Like I said, we've never seen the whole shebang offered separately outside of the starter. Like, they didn't do this for Necromunda, stuff like that. So it's really cool to see their progression of everything like that as far as products go. Now this is made in China, distributed by GW, so maybe that explains why they could do that, keep their costs, relatively down, because this is a heavy box and it does come with a lot of things. So let's talk about it. So $60 US for this. You get 6 of the Titan Command terminals. You get the Warhound, the Reaver, and the Warlord, 2 of each. Get your rule book, which is really nice. I'll show it to you here in a second. 2 Questoris Knight Command terminals, all the dice that you need to play the game, location, radiation. I think you get 10 normal dice and orders. Then you've got your templates, your range ruler, your battlefield assets, which are really neat. 24 mission stratagem cards, and all of your weapon cards again for the Warlord, the Reaver, and the Warhound, which we already know is coming out in a couple of months. We've seen some pictures kind of splashed into videos and stuff. I'm also going to show you what size bases they come on, because we can kind of reverse engineer it and figure it out from the templates that were in here, because sometimes it's hard to tell from the pictures. And then 2 reference sheets. Now, in traditional Games Workshop fashion, the Ubi, or the out-of-box experience, is top-notch, of course. Now everything's going to come sealed, in plastic and super fresh and nice, and I'm sure it smells great. But we already opened it and looked through it and learned the rules and played a couple test games already, which I'm liking it, by the way. I'm sure we've already talked about that at this point. So you get the Titanicus rulebook right here, and it's it's dope. We'll show you all this. Remember that overleaf we saw about 2 years ago at, I think it was a Heresy weekender in February. We saw all that, and it was pretty amazing. I found a spot to put this that isn't gonna fall on the ground, hopefully. And then you've got your command sprue, which is gonna have all of those goodies on it, along with all the arcs and things. Just need to stack it over here. You're gonna get measuring stick, because hey, you might not have a tape measure, so that's kind of nice. A little ad here, but the ad kind of protects the book and stuff from the sprue, so it doesn't like dig into the book and damage it. And it's got a cool little like overleaf that you can throw up on your shelf or pin to your wall or something like that. Then it's got the 2 quick reference sheets that we're gonna also show you close up on. And blue, they made it in blue. We've got blue. So we've had green, we've had red, we've had orange. 3rd edition starter set came with orange. We've had clear. We've never had blue. Now we got blue. That's cool. Hadn't seen blue before. And then you've got everything. And what I really like about this is the tray, kind of display, the storage. This is actually a big deal. Not a lot of games come with the little storage tray where you can put all your stuff in it and everything like that. That's why, there's companies out there that make foam inserts, that make you resin, acrylic things to put inside your box. But this represents a big development from Games Workshop as far as I'm concerned. So you got the Titan Command terminal things right here, and actually let's measure those out. I think they're about the size. They're a little bit smaller than a rule book. It's about 9.5 inches by about 6 1/4 inch right there. And what's cool about this is the game's played on a 4x4 table, or 3x3 to 4x4. I think they recommend 4x4 if you have the space. So for that other 2x4 space, that's assuming you're playing on a 6x4 table, you can lay out all your command terminals and do your things and stuff like that. Then you've got your Knight command cards here, your stratagems, they call them, well, they're just stratagems, but then, and then you've got mission objectives too in here. they were all mixed up. And then your war gear cards right here that have your points costs on it, and all of your dice, your D10s, because the template actually scatters D10 inches when you shoot it. So yeah, try not to scatter, I guess. And then all your command and radiation tokens and things there. Now let's take a look at all of these things separately. Okay, so first up is the component sprue, and this is going to have all your stratagems right here and all the different kind of toppers and things that you can put on there. I forget exactly what they all are, although I haven't played with those yet. They're a little bit in the advanced rules. Actually, they're not in the quick reference either. But some of them were like void shields and stuff, you know, just stuff that you're going to need, and you have to be in a certain proximity of them. I kind of forget exactly what all they are, but again, get the rules in your hands. You'll be able to figure it all out pretty quick. Then you've got all the pips, and the pips go in the command cards. You just cut them out and lock them into the command cards. I would probably paint these like a gold or something really shiny so you see them. So they're going to pop into all of these little pips, like your critical spots right here, your normal damage spots right here, your plasma reactor, your void shields, all that's going to go right into here. To keep track of things, moving it to the left and the right and such. Then you've got, and you can use these ones and these ones interchangeably. I would probably use these for the critical. I don't know. Haven't decided quite yet, but they say they're interchangeable. Then you've got your squadron football jersey numbers right here, and what those do is, if you have like, you know, you have two different Reaver Titans, what you're going to do is mark them this way. Like you're going to take this one counter and put it on here, so you know that this is the card for your #1 Reaver Titan. And then whatever it's armed with is obvious because, you know, it'll be on there. Don't ask me how you identify two of the same one. I don't know. And then you've got these arcs. And the arcs are actually really important in this game. You've got your firing arcs, which are, you know, go off to the side here. And then you've got your front kind of visibility little columns that you're also going to use in it too. This is the one for the Warlord, this is the one for the Reaver, and this is the one for the Warhound, which we're just starting to finally see pictures of. So here's the thing, I kind of reverse engineered. Well, I already knew what the Warlord was on. It's on the Dreadnought size base, so we got a painted one here. This is the Shattered Earth resin bases from Elric's Hobbies, and they look great. I'm gonna probably mount these all my Titans on these ones here. So this kind of explains to you how all this works. Like this is your front arc, side arc, rear arc, because there's multipliers and stuff too where you get shot at, which you're gonna find out as you go through the rules. Second up is the big, what is this thing, 120 by 105, a 105 by 70. This is the same size that Belisarius Cowl comes on, so that's going to be your Reaver Titan size right there, so that locks into that. And last but certainly not least, or excuse me, this is the 105. The other one is the Dreadnought base, the 120 by 92. Is an 80 mil round, it looks like. So the Warhound will be on a round base. It looks to be 80 mils, just because it's the only one that fits in there. Not a 60 mil, and none of the other oval bases look to fit in there. So that's what comes on this. Oh, and this is the turn priority, and this is just like a kind of an objective type deal right there. And that's pretty much everything that comes on this sprue. And then we've got the dice. It comes with a bunch of different dice. You've got your normal Titanicus dice here. I think you get 10 of these that has the Titan symbol on the 6, which is really cool. Then you've got your radiation, or your reactor, excuse me, dice right here. These are interesting. You don't have to use them. It's for the advanced type stuff, which I haven't played with yet, but you can also use them to mark things too. But for the most part, this kind of escalates the game, it seems like. Like you always kind of have a chance to melt down, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played the advanced rules yet, but I haven't had to use those. Then you've got the orders dice right here, and these literally you put them down on your card. So you figure out, you don't really roll it, you just figure out what order you're gonna do. Like, hey, I'm gonna repair, okay, and then you put it, boom, on the order slot right there, so you know which Titan's gonna be doing. And speaking of which, one of the things you can do when you repair is, if you happen to have, there's a Carapace weapon, and we'll say Sun Fury. If you happen to have a weapon or something that needs to be repaired, oops, it was on there. If you happen to have a weapon that needs to be repaired because it's flipped over, then you can do that. And there's different ways to do repairing, and you can do special things during the orders and such. But all of your weapons go right here, and they'll be either disabled or not. So it's kind of random. Oh, and something else that I need to show you too is the location die. And there's only one of these, so make sure you don't lose it. It's going to kind of tell you where shots go sometimes, like body, head, leg, special. Special counts as the body unless you have something special on your Titan itself. If you do a called shot, you don't have to use this. You're just like -2 to hit, -1 in combat if you're within 2 inches. So these are all very, very important to keeping track of what's going on with your any of your Titans. Next up is the quick reference guide. You get 2 of these in here, and this is super helpful for not having to flip through the book quite as much. You still will have to flip through the book. It's got your round summary on it, your orders, and of the appropriate pages in case you do need to flip through the book. How your repair actions work, hit modifiers, armor roll, smash attack, this is close combat, reactor overload table, and then your awakened machine spirit in case you anger the machine spirit. There's different ways to do that. We won't talk about that here. And catastrophic damage, which depending on what set of rules, this happens more often than not, it seems like. Damage effect, critical damage, and common weapon traits. Now there's a lot more weapon traits, but these are the common ones right here. This is the one that I think that comes on most of the weapons. Now the not every weapon comes with the Warlord Titan, and I haven't seen the other Titans yet because they're not out yet, so we don't exactly know. Now when it comes down to the book, don't get it twisted. G-Dub did it right. This book's about as big as a normal codex. Like I said, the overleaf is very stunning. A Titan Bay right there with warlords at the ready. I don't know where the rest of the little guys are, but there's definitely a whole bunch of warlords right there. Some sort of reactor or something in the distance there. Here is all the contacts. You've got all sorts of different stuff. There's optional rules, which are above and beyond the advanced rules. Those aren't necessarily something that you're going to play with or that you might not even see at match play. Basic rules are pretty easy to wrap your head around. Played a couple of games with those. Did not have any issues for the most part. And the advanced rules, I think, are where most people are going to settle. Assembling a battle group, there's all sorts of Titan-specific, Legio-specific, Princeps, your command dudes. A lot of specific stuff in there. As a matter of fact, you've got 2 legions have special rules in this rule set here. But going forward, they say they're going to be in additional supplements. Like you're going to have night houses, and there's, I think, 8 different ones on the Warlord decal sheet. So we only got 2 in here. Maybe they didn't have enough room. Maybe they're trying to sell us more supplements. I don't know. But either way, rules are good if you enjoy the game, right? So we don't want the game to stagnate. I'd much rather have new rules coming out than no rules. Narrative play missions. You probably read a lot of these in some of the novels out there. Some of the Forge World actually background tales in the Horus Heresy books. You might recognize some of these battles as well. The Last Stand at Magma City, not Dan Abnett, but Graham McNeil classic from Mechanicum. Just a great, very, very good story in general. So you can recreate that whole battle right there if you want. And then match play rules. This is where it's going to break down your points and all sorts of things like that to actually play competitively, air quotes, Titanicus, right? So lots and lots of stuff in here. You obviously need the rule book. I'm not sure if that's the seal of Alan Bly. I'm not sure how much he was involved with this development, but it would be very fitting if this was one of the last things he worked on. So it's so far I'm really enjoying it. Now the rules themselves start with a battle in progress and a couple of examples there on page 20, and then it just gets right into it, starts explaining everything. It's got really, really good graphics for kind of breaking everything down. And if you've never played 40k before, what a reroll is, what a scatter dice is, because some people that played 8th edition don't know what a scatter die is, right? Me and you, we might know what that is. Then you've got stuff in here about marking your bases. We talked about that. 45 degree increments on the little arcs and things, or you could actually mark it right on your bases, whichever you want to do. Pretty neat. There's your front quarter arc, your front arc, like we talked about there. So lots and lots of material in here. Then it gets into the basic rules, the strategy phase, And what's cool is that they have the advanced rules too. So if you're like, oh, what else can you do in a command check? Oh, advanced rules on page 41. Cool. Let me roll up to page 41, and there's all the advanced rules as well. So it's got a lot of stuff in here. There's your available orders. Orders are not in the basic rules, but orders definitely help the game in general. Like I said, when you start playing with the advanced rules, reactors tend to overload a little bit quicker. Womp womp. And lots of different stuff in here. Then it gets to the match play area, the optional rules, and then how to assemble your actual battle group, assembling a mana pool, and all the special rules you can have. You can choose your Princeps and his specials, and then like I said, there's additional rules for the Titan Legions back here. Oh, maybe before the graphics. Legio Tempestus and Legio Gryphonicus here as well. And the graphics, I mean, are beautiful, on point, like the stuff that's on par to, you know, the big Heresy Black Books, Legio Mortis stuff in here. The bad guys, the personal retinue of the Archmagnus of Mars, and then you get into stratagems and all sorts of extra stuff in here. So either way, you need oh, this is the open play, and then it explains like the, where is it? Oh no, match play is right here. So you got all the match play requirements. That's the narratives. There's your match play stuff. So skirmish, you're going to be able to play a skirmish. Even if you split the box with someone, you're going to be able to play a skirmish game. You're always going to be able to do a Titan duel or a Titan clash, just two Titans squaring off against each other. But if you split the box, you can definitely do this. If you combine and just do the contents of the box, you're going to be up here, or right around this 1250 to 1750 kind of level right here. And then they give you stratagem points that you can equip, and your underdog margins as well. So lots of good stuff in here, and then of course your setups, and then it gets into all the special rules for the different legion. Well, there's two in here, unfortunately. So that's it. I think overall this is, like I said, it's very ambitious by Games Workshop. I think there's a lot of different ways that if you want to jump into it yourself just to pick this stuff up, there's no reason not to pick this up, you know, because you get this really nice book that, let's face it, codexes cost about $40 normally, and this is only $60. So I feel like it's not that much more for the material you might actually need to play the game if you decide to play the game. If you are going to play the game, you are going to need this box, but you, like I said, you could do the My Buddy Adeptus Titanicus starter and pick up the Grandmaster plus this additional box, splitting it with your friend. You're about $175 out the door with no discount. Or you can just pick up a Warlord, a pack of Knights, this thing right here, and it's about $200 out the gate. So it's a little bit more than splitting it with a buddy, but then again, we don't all have buddies. We might just want the stuff and push them around the table and go pew pew pew. So that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm sure I will have more games under my belt by the time we get this video edited and out to the tubes out there for everybody. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all these videos.